To-date win, and he goes on to clinch the driving championship. 1 year later, Tommy Kendall wins a rain-shortened visit to Dairyland. That race represents his 6th win of the season, and he goes on to claim that year's championship. 1991 saw Scott Sharp post his 6th win, clinching the driver's title for that season. Perhaps we're starting to see a trend? Well, 92 did not follow the rules, but 1993 sure did. Once again, Scott Sharp led the field past the final flag. It was his 3rd win of the year and a pivotal performance for him on his way to a 2nd championship. The lesson is clear. If you want to do well for the season, you had better do well here. 94 event winner Dorsey Schrader knows that, and everyone else involved in the charge for this year's championship does as well.
Well, guys, I know Road America, or at least I knew Road America. After all, I grew up racing here, 24 years to be exact, racing at Road America. I was an instructor here for the Skip Barber Racing School for 4 of those years. Living my summers here, I've got thousands of laps on this racetrack, but that's the old racetrack. They repaved Road America, and they've changed it. They've changed the scenery a lot by moving back walls, moving back trees, putting in big gravel pits. It's a safer Road America. It's a faster Road America, but I got to relearn to drive Road America.
Road America is a special place in my heart. I had my first race here in '88 with Roush, and led my first laps in a Trans Am car. Nearly won a race in '89 here, won in '92. I think for us at American Equipment and Chevrolet, this is a real important weekend for us. We're on a bit of a roll. We want to keep it moving forward. The track has everything we're going to face the rest of the year. It's fast corners, slow corners, long straightaways. So we got to be hooked up here, and we would like to win here very badly.
Road America has always been one of my favorite tracks, so I always look for big things here. This year's championship is going well from the standpoint that we're almost mid-year and we've got a decent-sized lead. So I'm going to just try to do what we've done all year long, but not really push. Try not to make any mistakes. Everyone else is in the position of trying to catch us. So hopefully we can just try to put ourselves in a position to win, and when it's our day, it'll be our day. When it's not, we'll just come home 2nd or 3rd.
Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, population 1,019. But each year, the population swells by tens of thousands, as just down the road at Road America, the SCCA Trans Am Series comes to town. Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Adam, and welcome to the heartland of America and Prime Network's coverage of the Trans Am Championship Series. Well, as we reach the midpoint of the season, this is the time when drivers review and perhaps rethink their strategies. We've already talked to the top 3 contenders, but there are a host of others waiting to join the fray. With more on that, let's go down to Chris McClure.
4th through 7th in the points are separated by just 6, and back in 8th position, Jamie Gallus is perhaps in danger of losing contact with those at the front and the battle for 4th. But Jamie, you had a pretty good start to the year, and now you've had to recover lately with a couple of top 5s. What do you do from here?
Well, we just keep running hard and consistent, and hopefully the ICI Glenn Camaro will be back up front, and we can just gain on them little by little and be in the top 5 by the end of the year.
He did have a 5th place the last time out. Also in the hunt for that 4th place position is Boris Sett, just 2 points behind Bryce Cobb. And Boris, you also have been in a bit of a slump the last 3 races. You need to break out of it to get back toward the front.
Yeah, I've had a little bad luck. I've been running into things, and that hasn't made my racing too productive. But at least I've been running at the front, so this weekend hopefully I won't hit anything and I'll run near the front and finish at the front.
Have you been getting discouraged at all by this latest group of developments?
Not really. I mean, racing's an up and down sport, and you got to take the lows with the highs, so I think now I just need to get back on track. But I got a good car and it shouldn't be too hard.
Bryce Cobb is one of 3 men in this field who have won a race this year, and he currently does have that 4th place position, 2 points ahead of Boris Sett and 3 points ahead of Brian Till. Bryce, I know you got the win right from the get-go. You've had a couple other top 5s and good finishes, but I think a little more consistency would help you catch up with those guys ahead of you.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Highway Master Chevrolet got caught out in Detroit. We thought that was going to be a real strong race for us, but we don't intend to let that happen again. The Highway Master car has been a beacon in a rough sea throughout the year. I think we'll make it through it from here on.
You won at this place, Road America, before. It's been a while in different kinds of cars, but you know it. You know success here. Do you have a higher level of confidence when that's the case?
Yeah, I think so. We won here last year in a different brand, and We took 10 seconds off the lap record. I don't expect that to happen, but to be right up there again, I think we'll be there.
Bryce Cobb in fourth. Now, there's a lot more to talk about here at Road America, and with all that's hot, or perhaps not, let's join Bill Adam with this week's Auto Week update.
Well, the last time we saw car number 27 was at Belle Isle, Michigan, and the car was decidedly worse for wear. Rob Rizzo ended his day on the final lap of the race, but hard up against the outside wall in turn one. Rob, a huge crash. We are glad to see you back, but what does this do mentally to you?
Well, thank you. It's good to be back. Mentally, really, it hasn't affected me. I remember nothing about the race and the accident. And we just came here this week, get the car repaired, and we're looking forward to a good race this weekend.
Well, the white number 40 Camaro may show Canadian Kenny Wilden's name along the roof, but there's another name on the car, and that is Jim Durhag. Durhag Motorsports. This is the man who holds the record for the greatest number of starts, the greatest number of top 10 finishes in Trans Am history. He is also chief mechanic. Jim, to get out of the car after this illustrious driving career, it's difficult, but you've got a young lion in there now.
Well, Bill, you know, you can't drive race cars forever, and sooner or later you have to get out of the seat and run the team, just like Richard Childress did, right? So I think Kenny's got a tremendous amount of potential, and he's the guy that we've chosen, that we're going to try and put together a sponsorship package and run maybe once more in 95, and then really look for doing something in 96.
And finally, look at this. The Roush Racing Motor Coach is much more than just a piece of art. This beautiful coach provides a peace and serenity that is really unfound at any track. Inside, they can serve lunches, and of course, it serves as the perfect area where drivers like John Gooding and Tom Kendall can discuss scenarios with Max Jones. Max, you're a driver yourself in the past, but has this helped you with all of the problems? Because logistics to run a team like this are huge.
It gives us a place to get away from the crowd and the team and get a chance to sit down with whoever you want to, the drivers or the team manager and the crew chiefs, and be able to have 2 or 3 inputs instead of 12 if you're out underneath the tent or in the truck.
This update has been brought to you by Auto Week, America's only enthusiast weekly. Call 1-800-232-1520 for a year's subscription to Auto Week at the lowest price ever, just $19.95. That's 1-800-232-1520. Get Auto Week today.
Don't wait. Get the news weekly of motoring, Auto Week. Don't wait for driving impressions. Auto Week drives them all and tells you about them first. Don't wait for car news. Auto Week covers the world. Auto shows, the new, the old, and brings it to you fast. Don't wait for racing news. Get the news weekly of motoring. Auto Week brings you the winningest coverage first. Don't wait. Get Auto Week, the news weekly of motoring, now.
Call 1-800-232-1520 for this TV Race Weekend special. Get Auto Week at the lowest price ever, $19.95, for 52 issues. But don't wait. This special offer expires midnight on Tuesday. Get Auto Week at the lowest price ever. Call 1-800-232-1520 now.
It's about change. About breaking rules and making new rules. About building machines more in harmony with humanity. Questioning everything. It's about change. The new Dodge.
Coverage of the 1995 SCCA Trans Am Championship is being brought to you by Eagle. Test drive the all-new Eagle Talon at your local Eagle dealer. Welcome back to Road America and the 6th stop on the 12-race championship trail for the SCCA Trans Am Series. A quick look at some of the past winners at this prestigious event shows the caliber of talent it takes to conquer this high-speed, demanding 4 miles that's nestled in the glaciered countryside of Wisconsin. And as I'm sure most of you have already noted, this course was once subdued, albeit temporarily, by our expert commentator, David Hobbs. David, what advice can you give today's competitors with respect to managing this daunting challenge known as Road America?
Bill, as you and I both know, this is a great circuit, and in fact it's the longest permanent circuit in the United States, and in fact one of the longest in the world. And at a quick glance, it looks like it should be a very high average speed because of those very, very long straights. But the corners are all medium to slow speed, in fact. And after the front straightaway here, which is very long, turn 1 is an off-camber right-hander. But then, after a complex of corners, it starts to get very interesting. After one of the quirks of this course is that we arrive at turn 3 after a little downhill run at it. A slowish corner, but a very important one, Brian.
It's a very important corner. It's a second gear corner onto a very long straightaway, about 160 miles an hour at the end of this straightaway. So the entry speed is important. It leads to a great passing zone.
At the end of that long straight, a sand trap, tire barriers, because this is the slowest corner on the track, but also an absolutely key ingredient, right, Brian?
Yeah, this is an important turn. You got long straightaway coming in, some hard downhill braking, and this is a great passing zone here. It's a really, really important corner on the track.
Short but very steep uphill run to turn 6. Tricky little corner, this one, Greg.
It really is, David. You know, you're completely blind going into the corner, and then the corner itself tightens up. It's a little bit off camber. It gets very, very slippery, so it gets a real touch. You got to be real easy on the gas. You got to nurse it through here, and like all the corners, you got to flow down into 7 and 8.
As Greg said, of course, momentum is very important here at Road America, just like it is at any circuit. And turn 7, a real fast right-hand sweeper after 6. Tell us a little bit about that, Bill.
Well, it's like you say, David, momentum is everything here, and not hitting your brakes too hard when you go into this corner is the real key. You got to let the car go, and if you let the car and you catch a good exit, you'll get a good shot down the edge.
After the quick right-hander at turn 7, into a sharp left-hander at 8, and then the carousel, 180-degree long, fast corner. Very important to maintain speed through here to get a good lap time. Then the kink, the fastest corner here. Then down to Canada corner, sharp right-hander, a lot of overtaking there. And then to turn 14, the most important corner on this track because it leads onto this long, fast front straightaway, and a good exit speed is absolutely essential. That concludes a trip around this monster facility and track that for most represents far more than just another road circuit. And one other item everyone except one will be worried about is whether this car, the AER Camaro of Ron Fellows, will be able to continue the dominance it has displayed in the last 2 races. Fellows is going for his 3rd straight win today, and considering what happened to him at Lime Rock just 1 short month ago, many people are scratching their heads in wonderment. Recently, while visiting the Detroit area, Chris may have come up with just the answer.
You'll remember the crash Ron Fellows had at Lime Rock. It appeared catastrophic at the time, and certainly it was a big hit, but he escaped with essentially just bruises. How is that possible? Here at Pratt Miller, just outside of Detroit, is where they built the car, and others identical are under construction. They have married performance aspects with crashworthiness. Now, it used to be to get those elements put together, an engineer had to sit down with a clean sheet of paper and draw the car he was proposing. It was a little bit of guesswork involved there, but these days they've moved to the modern era. Computer-aided design is what built this car from the ground up. It's called CAD in the common parlance. They are able to test literally thousands, if not millions of options before they actually build the car. The computer age is a big part of everyday life in America, and that certainly applies to racing. And in this case, the man who was putting the car together could do just about everything but drive it before they actually built it.
Well, that shop and the computer-aided design and manufacture represent some of the leading-edge technology in today's motorsport. It's amazing, isn't it? Well, if you want to see something else that is truly amazing, let's go down to David Hobbs and this week's Chrysler Motorsport Report.
Just another pace car, right? Wrong. This is a Dodge Neon, and it will lead the first ever PPG Super Cup race here at Road America around the 4 miles of wending roadside here in Wisconsin. And behind it are going to be 57, yeah, that's right, 57 identical Neons to this in what is going to be the richest ever amateur road race in North America, let alone here at Road America. And with me is Bill Tracy, who is Chrysler Motorsport Manager. Now, Bill Tracy, it's got a lot of prize money. Just what is that prize money?
David, it's well over $100,000 when you add the PPG tow money.
And you have 57 drivers, some of whom are very diverse.
From all over the country, a couple of lady drivers, a couple of physically challenged drivers, and a 67-year-old retiree.
Well, that's going to make up for some great action, and you can see it all on ESPN2 at 1 p.m. on September the 10th.
The Drug Emporium Pharmacist has an answer for everyone. From information on over-the-counter medicines to private consultations, we'll make you feel so comfortable. There's no such thing as an embarrassing question. Drug Emporium, savings so big you need a shopping cart.
The store that has something for everyone now has hours for everyone. Our Buckhead store and pharmacy in the Buckhead Crossing Shopping Center at Piedmont Road is now open 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Savings so big, you need a shopping cart.
Wesley Creekside Apartments, an affordable luxury community located on Skyview Drive near Thornton Road, is convenient to downtown Atlanta and Hartsfield International Airport. Wesley Creekside Apartments' extensive amenities package includes swimming, tennis, free tennis instruction, fitness center, and social room with billiards table. Wesley Creekside offers spacious 1-, 2-, and 3-bedroom apartments. For your personal tour, call today at 739-2330. 739-2330. Wesley Creekside, apartment living for today's lifestyle.
Traps 500 hits the Poconos, and heads are turning as drivers throw caution to the wind in Winston Cup Racing. MGT 500 qualifying, Friday at 3, live on Sports South.
Welcome back to Road America at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. This is Bill Adam, David Hobbs, and Chris McClure with you at one of our favorite tracks, the beautiful, beautiful circuit in the heartland of America. This is just a spectacular circuit for Trans Am, and with one of the best racers, down to Chris McClure.
Well, Bill, the 1995 season has had some good moments for the driver of the number 5 Highway Master car, but Lady Luck has often chosen not to smile, and again this day it happened, Paul.
Well, you never know when luck's going to smile at you, and lately it doesn't seem that it smiled at me very much. We had a little problem in the morning warm-up, radiator cap malfunctioned, the engine overheated, and we've had to change it. So now we're going to move back a few spots in the field and start 11th.
And you had picked up a second from yesterday, so apparently you had a good race car, but now an untested motor.
Well, that's one of the big problems. The real problem is fighting your way through the field. Trans Am is so even and so competitive that I'm going to have to be aggressive and take a chance early, because if the lead pack gets away, I'll never catch him.
Paul Gentilozzi's got a long way to go to the front, but he's in a race mode.
I think we always see Paul in a race mode, in perfect weather for his charge today. 77 degrees, as you see, 80% humidity, wind out of the west at 10 miles per hour, and as usual this year, we do have a chance of rain. Just a great day here for the manufacturers as well. A very tight battle. Chevrolet just barely ahead of Ford, 39-37 through the 5th round of this Trans Am series. So you couldn't really ask for a much tighter battle. The makes showing 21 Chevrolets in today's race, 8 Fords and 2 Oldsmobiles. One of those being Don Sack, our longtime runner who just likes to get his teeth into this Trans Am series and keeps the amateur content right near the front, David.
Yep, he certainly tries hard, does a good job, and obviously it's nice to see as many cars out there as possible. It's nice to have the Oldsmobile in the field.
Well, we'll take a look at the grid here in the backdrop of the countryside. Spectacular. You can see the drivers getting ready. On row 1, we have Jamie Gallus pole position. On the outside, number 4, Boris Said.
On row 2, we have Dorsey Schrader, last year's winner, and Brian Till lying second in this year's Rookie Championship point standings.
Inside of row 3, the fastest qualifier, Tom Kendall, the All Sports Roush Mustang, and outside, number 15, Price Cobb. Now, that should be a good battle.
Row 4, we have Ron Fellows, of course, who's won the last 2 races, and John Gooding out of Longwood, Florida, alongside him in the Mountain Dew car.
Yeah, great qualifying position by John Gooding. Moving back to row 5, Greg Pickett, the man who has been inspired early this year. And outside, one of the best performances so far in this season, Tony Ave.
On row 6 is Paul Gentilozzi, who we just saw a few moments ago, and Brian Simo out of Carlsbad, California, in the Valvoline Ford.
Back in row 7, making his return appearance, Rob Rizzo. Glad to see him back. And on the outside, Ray Kong, his Sunsource Camaro.
And on row 8, Bill Saunders from Dallas, Texas, and Max Lowgood from Barrington, Illinois, not far for him.
Row 9, Tim McAdam and Dale Phelan, Tony Ave's teammate and car team owner, actually, on the outside, that number 66 Camaro.
And in row 10, we got Kenny Wilden, who we heard about earlier on in the 40 car, and R.J. Valentine.
A pair of Ford runners make row of 11, Rick Dittman and Phil Bartell.
On row 12, we have Guy Stewart and Don Sack in the Oldsmobile.
Row 13, Jim Trotnow, and another of the longtime runners, Bruce Nesbitt, makes a return back to Road America.
And Bruce Barkaloo from Maryland, and Tom Juckett.
Row 15, Bill Eagle in a Camaro, and Trent Terry in his Oldsmobile may make the grid. We hope he does show up. A big crowd for today's race. Tom Volk will be row 16 if he can start. We have not had a qualifying time. Tom Volk, we're not sure if he's going to be on the grid or not as time runs down here to the start.
31 cars on the grid, and the top 26 cars are covered by 5 miles an hour, which doesn't sound like much, and of course it's a long way around, Bill.
Well, starters will be welcomed at every flag station as they pass by during the pace laps, but these men and women in white serve a purpose far more important than that of your friendly welcome wagon. They're the driver's safety net, the people that you may not want to see up close and personal, but you're mighty glad to meet them when the time comes.
This is Trans Am practice at Road America. We're in turn number 1, where a full contingent of SCCA volunteers is on hand to service the race cars. Of course, they have flags just like those at the start-finish line, but there's a lot more to it. Most of these people at some time or other in their career will be the first to an accident. If it occurred over here in turn number 1 and the first man there saw a fire, he would signal that simply by making an F. Fire, send me a fire truck. Or if you need an ambulance, there's an injury involved, make an A. Send me an ambulance. Or the best news of all, of course, that the driver is okay. And it gets more complicated than that. This man is the corner captain in charge of all the people around him. He can get hand signals from others around the corner telling him the condition of an individual race car. Now, across the track, we have one of those people. He's going to send a signal, and we'll interpret it for you. First, he gets the attention of the captain. Now he says, please check car number 13. What are we checking him for? He seems to be dropping oil and also smoking. After the conclusion of the message, that'll be mirrored back to make sure it is correct and then radioed to race control. Then everybody around the track will have the same message, and they'll check the car before they black flag it. This and all race-related matters are, of course, supervised by members of the Sports Car Club of America. If you'd like to get a little more excitement on your weekends, then it's time you discovered racing the SCCA way. The Sports Car Club of America is your ticket to the pit lane and the fast lane. For SCCA membership information, call this toll-free number. It's 1-800-972-6662. That's 1-800-972-6662.
With Dodge Neon's dual airbags and side impact beams, the question isn't safety. With the new Neon Coupe's multi-valve overhead cam engine and fully independent suspension, the question isn't performance. 2 doors or not 2 doors, that is the question. Say hello to the other Dodge Neon, the Coupe. Get 1.9% financing or lease Dodge Neon for $179 a month.
Just a reminder, when you need them, we got them. Big A, America's Parts Pros.
Pride, serving America's great sports networks.
With a power-engineered system from Competition Cam. Matching components for peak horsepower. Cams, lifters, springs, valves, rockers, timing sets, and push rods. An unbeatable system. Power-engineered components produce outstanding power and outstanding torque. Cam Help is your toll-free link to the Competition Cam's technical department. Call 1-800-999-0853. You can't beat a power-engineered system from Competition Cam.
Welcome back to the beautiful circuit of the United States, Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. We have a luxury today. Once again, we're going to be able to go back inside the racing car, talk to the drivers as is going on. This man right here, number 15, Price Cobb. David, let's have a call to.
Price Cobb, you're just setting the car in motion. How are you feeling? The sun's just shining, but the skies look a little bit gray. What's your prognosis of this race?
Well, I think based on the fact we're on a super high-speed circuit and we're on slicks currently, I hope like heck it doesn't rain. But if it does, Dave, it's the same for everybody. So, I'll just take it as it comes.
You're in the 6th spot on the grid, but you went actually quicker than that in qualifying. How confident are you to get to the front today?
Well, I'm pretty confident the car works pretty well. And then again in the morning warm-up, ran real well on full race trim. So got my fingers crossed. We'll see how far we can make it.
Thanks very much, Price. Good luck.
Now the further report. Let's go down to Chris McClure.
Bill, all the contending teams, most of them put 600s on the left front except for the Glory Racers. All 3 cars on 400s on the front. Tom, the sun's out now. Is this a bit of a risk with the soft tires?
It wasn't planned as a risk at all. We haven't shown that much temperature on the right front. Sorry, on the left front. We don't consider it a gamble. We've got a lot more cloud cover than we planned on. We think it's just a natural. We always try to put the tires on the cars that the drivers use during the practice. In other words, temperatures dictate everything to us.
Okay.
We should be fine.
Thank you.
Well, one of his big guns, of course, is Dorsey Schrader. And David Hobbs, let's give Dorsey a call.
Dorsey Schrader, this is David from the booth. How do you feel about having that soft tire on the left front here?
David, this morning I was a little bit concerned about it, but right now, after this little brief sprinkle and the cloud cover we have, I think we got some saving grace right now. I know Tom Gloy was doing a little bit of a rain dance, or a cloud cover dance, and here it is. I hope it stays that way for about the next hour. I think we'll be all right.
Okay, thank you.
And for another perspective on this race, we're going to give you another view of the race. That is in-car. This is inside the #1 Camaro, Ron Fellows. He's back on the grid a little bit, but actually the fastest car of all. In the morning warm-up, he blistered this track. So Ron should be good fun to watch. We watched at Portland and saw exactly what he is capable of doing. Spectacular car and obviously a great driver. There's a view at the back. You can see John Gooding's Mustang just following as everybody warms up the tires. Now we are on board car number 2. This is Jamie Gallus, who will be starting first, our pole starter. Remember today with this inverted start, as he follows the pace car. There's a roof cam showing you. He's just heading down. This is coming up into the carousel, isn't it, David?
Well, that's turn 8 right there into the carousel, one of the most daunting corners here.
And the whole track is one of spectacular scenery. This green flag will be falling in just a few seconds. Don't go away as we take this short break for a commercial.
Hey, I can make this guitar sing, but to make my engine sing, I need a great motor oil. Nothing works better than Kendall oil, and right now Kendall's got a deal that'll be music to your ears. Just buy a case of Kendall and you'll get $3 in concert cash through Ticketmaster. $3 off any concert or special event of your choice with every case of Kendall. No strings attached. Kendall motor oil. Hey man, buy it at these locations.
Sure there is. There's lots of secrets to potting plants. I would say welcome to your new home. Nice big pot. In here we keep our house plants nice and fresh. These are the hands of a certified nursery woman. We buy from our local growers to get the plants that are indigenous to the area.
Make your year-round lawn care simple with Scott's Turf Builder. No matter how you spread it, Turf Builder gives you an even green lawn every time. You'll find it at a guaranteed low price every day at the Home Depot.
Wanted, great baseball. Reward, your Colorado Silver Bullets. The ladies take the diamond with a little attitude and a little something to prove. They got the sticks, they've got the mitts, and they've got the guns. You throw in a little heart, and you got the Colorado Silver Bullets. The Bullets shoot into South Carolina Wednesday night, live on Sports South.
Welcome back to the 4 miles of Road America, beautiful Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. David, this isn't far from your home, so I'm going to put you on the spot first and say, who are you going to pick to pull this one off today?
Well, it's an incredibly tough call today because of that blinding speed that Ron Fellows put on this morning. As we saw him come from the back at Portland just a couple of weeks ago, I think I'm going to put my money on old Ronnie Fellows.
Chris McClure, you're on the spot next. Let's get your prediction of a winner.
Well, we're approaching unanimity here because that was my thought after seeing that tremendous jump forward that Fellows put on this morning in the warm-up. I'm picking him.
Well, and I have to guess go someplace else, and I, too, was very impressed with Ronnie. He was blisteringly fast. It was just almost unbelievable what he did in that car. But let's go with Tom Candle. I think he was such a winner last year, and he has been shut out this year, so maybe the hunger is going to overpower today. They're coming up the front straight here, David.
Yeah, pace car's pulled off. This is always a hard-to-the-mouth job.
Watching for the green flag, you see Jamie Gallus goes underneath the stand, and there is the start of the race.
Boris
side by side. Down into turn 1. Who's going to do it, David?
Well, Jamie Gallus has got the line, and Boris Sedge trying to go around the outside and pulls it off, I think. Whoa, got a tail out there. We see from on board Ron Fellows' car, we see Tommy Kendall there in the All-Sport car, and the Glidden car of Jamie Gallus has maintained the lead. Sedge right behind him, and Dorsey Schrader right behind him as they stream out onto this back straight, downhill straight here, the fastest part of the track, and into the slowest corner.
This is almost 170 miles an hour down through the woods here. And again, look at that number 4 Mustang. He's going to try going down the inside. Very late braking here.
Whoa, Dorsey Schrader, of course, the winner here.
Oh, Dorsey.
Whoa! Gallus had to give up there, and of course that let through Dorsey Schrader as well, and Price Cobb is right alongside.
Yeah,
and Price Cobb took him as well.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Whoa, and there's a punch up there going into 6. 2 cars took each other off the road. So Boris Sedge takes the lead as they swoop around that set. Whoa, Tommy Kendall right onto the gravel there.
Keep in mind now, right now, those first 2 cars, the number 4 Mustang and the Ray Bestis car, both on the soft compound tires, as Chris McClure alluded to. They will heat up a little faster, giving these 2 cars in the picture, the number 4 and the number 12, much better traction on these cold tires.
This long corner here, this is the carousel. If any tire is going to get ripped up by a corner, it'll be that carousel. On the other hand, they've got a lot of confidence. They go through the kink here, just coming up the fastest corner here in Road America, one of the fastest corners in North America. Whoa!
Oh, it's Tommy Kendall off the grass.
Wow.
Oh, my Lord. Now, there is a tribute to talent. That is 160 miles an hour, all 4 wheels onto the grass. Kendall held a huge slide and pulled it back on the track.
Jeepers creepers. He never lost a place.
Well, he's going to make the highlight film this week with that one.
Perhaps he did lose. No, he didn't lose.
No, he didn't. He actually was able to keep, probably by fear alone. Ron Fellows did not want to try passing at that
everybody
point.
else must have backed out of it as well. That reminds me of the opening lap of the IMSA race here a few years ago when Davy Jones had a huge crash at that very same spot.
Once again onto the front straight. This will complete lap 1, climbing the hill. There's car number 50. Oil is all around the track. He has lost. Oh, and there's Don Sachs Oldsmobile. It looks like he's up against the guardrail just by the kink.
I think that is down by the kink.
We're going to get a pace car. You can see the yellow flag is being waved frantically, warning everybody to slow down. They have to clean this up. That was Bruce Nesbitt's Ford Mustang, and there's number 78, probably also. Bill Eagle has gone off on the oil.
Well, I wonder whose oil it is.
Unbelievable. Well, this track is going to get the pace car, as you see out. Boris Sedge leading this lap. Dorsey Schrader, Price Cobb, Jamie Gallus, Brian Till make up the top 5. We'll clean this mess up and be right back.
Introducing the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Coupe. With a 3.1-liter V6, an all-new interior, dual airbags, and anti-lock brakes. There's a chance it might stretch your imagination. It's your money.
Mother's California Gold, the finest cleaners, polishes, and finish restorers. Carnauba wax protects and shines. Easy to apply, looks great.
California Gold, there's no shine like Mother's.
Welcome back to Road America. Bill Adam, David Hobbs, Chris McClure with you as the Trans Am cars are under caution right now. One other SCCA category that will be competing here at Road America is the one made up of the World Challenge cars, machines that offer the fan one more full-body category to which he can directly relate. More on that as we present this week's Oldsmobile Track Fact.
In World Challenge Racing, some portions of the car are severely limited in their modification opportunities. But in the case of braking and suspension, there are some options, and Greek Brothers Racing has taken advantage of those options. Let's take a look. First of all, they do use an ABS braking system. The strut towers have been strengthened considerably. There you see the welds. It's a lot taller, it's a lot stronger across the top, and it is tied into the frame to make it stiffer. Now, down below, looking at the brakes, we have an 11-inch by 1-inch brake rotor, much heavier than stock, and a 4-piston Willwood caliper, much heavier than stock as well. Stainless steel brake lines behind. You wouldn't find that on a normal car. Now, in the sway bar situation, they do use the original pickup points, but it's much heavier. All of those elements designed for better braking and suspension performance.
And the Trans Am cars continue to circulate around the track here following this pace car. It's just going to take a few minutes to clean up some of the oil that was right around the track. You can see the track is so quick that they have to be careful. Now, with a very special guest here today at the track who knows a little bit about working on cars, down to Chris McClure.
Just like at any racetrack, VIP suites are part of the fair, and you find a lot of those kinds of folks around. Bob Bondurant right there, who competes in the World Challenge. And I'm also with another member of the Steve Saleen team who competes in World Challenge. You all know him, and now he's making his pro racing debut. Tim Allen, how you liking it?
I'm absolutely loving it.
In terms of improvement, you're watching Trans Ams here during this particular race. What do you look for in other drivers as you try and move up?
Well, especially in Trans Am, we're running in our Saleens, I think a little bit more horsepower, but nowhere near the braking, or they have slicks and the downforce. So these guys' lines are a little different, but how they approach turn number 1 especially, where they're braking especially, and on turn 5 coming into up to the Corvette Bridge, where I'm having my trouble. I'm watching these pros because I'm very new at this. Very new at this.
Any correlation between what you do in your full-time profession and what you're doing inside the race car?
Well, the anticipation of our week's show is similar. There's at least 60 people that really do all the work on my show, just like the team that builds the car and maintains the car and drives the rig and all this. I'm just the figurehead, although just like I can't do it without them, they can't do it without me, so there's a symbiotic thing. But the anxiety level before Friday night show is so similar to waiting for our race, which is after this race, and we have it's very, I was pacing in the motorhome, and I came back over here so I can see the Trans Am race where they're finishing up, and then I'll go back and pace some more. And I said the anxiety level is very similar to doing my TV show.
Tim Allen, Bill, just like you, a TV star who also drives race cars.
Well, he looks like he's having some fun out there with his Binford Tool Special, I'm sure. Having a great time. We're listening right now to Dorsey Schrader. We'll try and get David to give him a call and see how the track looks to his view.
Dorsey, this early caution is going to help those tires of yours, and is there a lot of oil out there?
Everything's fine, David. The car's running real good. Boris is running good in front of us. The car feels great right now.
What about this oil that we heard that's all around the track? Is it bad?
Actually, I haven't even seen much oil at all. We got a car crash on the back straightaway. Looks like it got into the inside guardrail. But no, the racetrack's pretty good. I like it so far.
Well, your buddy Tommy Kendall was giving you some dirt track lessons there. We saw him come out of the kink, all 4 wheels on the grass, absolutely sideways, and only lost 1 place. Are you going to try that later on for us?
We hope we won't need to do that, but it's always in the back of my mind. If it needs to be done, we'll be doing it.
Thanks very much. Goodbye and good luck.
Dorsey Schrader, as you can see, he does enjoy his racing, and if it's going to be going down to getting through the kink faster, he might try it. Let's go to Price Cobb now in car number 15, get his viewpoint.
Price Cobb, you've moved up to 3rd spot. How's the car running?
You know, David, the start of any race, the tires are down on pressure, so it's a little odd, but it's odd for everybody. At the moment, all I can tell you is that all is going well with the Rocketsports Chevrolet.
The 2 cars in front of you have got soft tires on both sides of the front there. Do you think that's going to be a problem for them as this race goes on?
Well, we didn't see it in practice, David. We actually would have run a 430 front on the left also, but my car prefers to have equal compound left or right, so I'd say no.
Okay, thanks. Good luck. See you later.
Once again, remarkably clear conversations with these drivers. We'll take a look at the top 10 as they currently stand right now as we wait for this track to go green once again. Boris Said and Dorsey Schrader. Teammates continue to lead in their Ford Mustangs. Price Cobb in third, 6 through 10. Tom Kendall, Ron Fellows, Pickett, John Gooding, and Paul Gentilozzi. Stay with us. We'll be back for the resumption of more racing.
Sound familiar? Getting a little hot out? That's right, it's summer. And you gotta stay cool, and you gotta go unplugged. So come on, get mobile with Sony, Panasonic, Alpine, JVC, Kenwood. You get the idea. Say so long to your socket, sucker, and get down to hi-fi buys. We got the good stuff. Hi-fi buys unplugged. The good stuff to go.
Hurry to the Spring Sell-a-thon at Cherokee Ford in Woodstock, home of the 12,988 F-150 truck, loaded, not stripped. Or pick up a brand new Windstar for as low as $17,888. Choose a 93 Ford Taurus program car, loaded with V6 automatic air and power, starting at just $10,988. These selections have never been better, and the prices have never been lower. At the Cherokee Ford Spring Sell-a-thon. Cherokee Ford, 5 minutes north of Town Center Mall on 575 and Exit 5.
And the lowlights. If it's got a motor and somebody races it, chances are you'll find it on Pit Road. The final edition every Sunday, live on Sports South.
Welcome back to the prettiest circuit in all of North America, Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 4 miles through the countryside, up, down, high speed, low speed, long straights, everything you could ask for. One of the most important people in this series is a man who is a driver, a team owner, a sponsor. He provides a lot to the series. That is Bill Saunders.
Highwaymaster is most specifically connected with big rigs, and these days also connected with a big racing team. The Rocketsports team is run by Paul Gentilozzi, and Highwaymaster is the primary sponsor on 3 of the cars, one driven by Gentilozzi, another by Price Cobb, and the third by Bill Saunders, who also happens to be the president and CEO of Highwaymaster. And Bill, I know you like to go racing, but that only takes one car. Why an operation this big?
Well, Chris, we like to win, and with Price Cobb and Paul Gentilozzi, we've got every opportunity to win.
What about Bill Saunders, your commitment, which is very large as well?
Well, I've been racing now for about 8 years. This is my 3rd year in Trans Am, and to be racing now with Price Cobb and Paul Gentilozzi has moved me up considerably, and I'm looking forward to being on that podium myself here one of these days.
You love it, don't you?
I like it a lot.
And he certainly enjoyed it even more out at Portland, where he was on the pole, David. Enjoyed leading the field around, and just it was a moment of glory for Bill as a man that does enjoy his racing very, very much. You can see as the pace car is going around there, he's holding out a single finger with 1 lap to go. Let's go back down to Chris McClure.
Clarification, if I might. We thought there might be some oiling on the track, but to check with a trio of SCCA officials who checked the network, there was no oiling that anyone can find from the number 50 car or anybody else. It was strictly a matter of Nesbitt's car and Donald Sack being in a bad position. That was the reason for the yellow. But this track is going to be the same track that accepted the speeds just a few moments ago.
Well, that's good news. We certainly don't want any oil to disturb this race at all, because one of the nice things I think about a track this long, David, you've got so much potential for some great, great battles.
Oh, absolutely. Good top-end speed is very important here, these long, long straights, but there is a great variety of corners. They are sort of medium speed. There's no doubt about it. But like coming down to 8 here, you're going to see a lot of overtaking down here. You're only going to look at the black marks on the road there to see that.
One of the advantages of a track this long, you have a lot of passing areas. Well, that will be coming up in just a few moments, as we'll go right to commercial at this point.
People are afraid of electricity, they're afraid of water and gas. They want to see the experts when they come in, they want to see a good plumber. These are the hands of a plumber. Put this, put this, put this, they're all done. I was a plumber for years and years, a hard-working plumber. Products, you can't get any better, can't get better prices.
Make your home more energy efficient with GE Silicones. Their caulks and sealants are a great choice for weatherproofing windows and doors. You'll find GE Silicones in stock at a guaranteed low price every day at the Home Depot.
Chris Berman for Kills Primetime Primers. To the highlights we go.
Bob's first-round pick for whole house surface preparation is Kills Total One, the premium latex primer that seals drywall and blocks out stains like smoke, grease, and crayon. He moves outside, where Total One tackles rust and intercepts the buildup of mold and mildew on guttering and aluminum siding. He could go all the way. When it's time to prime, reach for Kills Primetime Primers.
Wanted, great baseball. Reward, your Colorado Silver Bullets. The ladies take the diamond with a little attitude and a little something to prove. They got the sticks, they've got the mitts, and they've got the guns. You throw in a little heart, and you got the Colorado Silver Bullets. The Bullets shoot into South Carolina Wednesday night, live on Sports South.
Welcome back to Road America, Wisconsin. David Hobbs and Chris McClure along with you. Bill Adam here. This is the largest crowd ever to see a Trans Am race here. Just a spectacular, huge crowd today. Enjoying the weather, which, again, it's threatening. There's a lot of cloud around, but there's a lot of sun at times. You don't know what to do from a driving standpoint as far as a tire choice.
No, it's difficult. The sun has been in and out twice. There's a lot of overcast up there, so I think the soft tire guys in the front there will be okay. But if the sun comes out for an extended period of time, they could be in trouble.
Okay. Well, we can see the pace car is pulling ahead. There's our helicopter shot, and watch, the start will be taking place. The pace car is going to peel off just to the right as we see that picture. The blue number 4 you can see is Boris Said, followed by his own teammate, Dorsey Schrader. And they'll be coming up, approaching the flag stand. Racing resumes, and look at Dorsey, David.
Dorsey Schrader going for 3 in a row here, won the last 2 races here. Done a lot of winning at Road America, and as you said earlier, been racing here for 24 years. That's a long time.
Boy, Boris also got a very good start. You can see down the inside, Tom Kendall has moved up a little bit there, but Jamie Gallus right on his tail.
Tom Kendall moved up a couple of spots there.
On board, Ron Fellows right here. Now, he's following Brian Till's Camaro. This is entering the back straight here. This is the quickest part of the track.
This is turn 3, which, as we said earlier yesterday with Brian Till, who we're now watching, is so important to launch you onto this straight, because at the end of this straight, we're going to come to turn 5, and that's where a lot of positions change, but you've got to be right with the guy to be able to outbrake him.
Boy, look at the flapping of that rear window here. You can just see what aerodynamics are doing. Look at this, a car diving down the inside. Rain-X car, Greg Pickett. Boy, what a great job he did, outbraking Ron Fellows. Now
then, Greg Pickett, of course, let Ron Fellows win the race at Detroit a few weeks ago. He's obviously decided now he's not going to let him win this one. Wow.
Boy, and he wants to make his car as wide as he can. Look at John Gooding, too. Gooding's getting a great run now at Ron Fellows.
2 abreast there around turn 6, out of turn 7, that very fast flick, still behind Greg Pickett. So Ron Fellows won't be happy with this scenario, because meanwhile, the leader of the championship is in front of him, and of course the 2 Tom Gloy cars are leading the race, so he's got a lot of work to do to catch up through the carousel there, that long.
That is a long carousel right there. You're looking at the back, the AER car. That is Ron Fellows, immediately followed by the Mountain Dew, the green car of John Gooding. That is the second car of the Roush stable. Once again through the valley, Kettle Moraine Valley, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now then, the thing is, can Tommy Kendall in the All Sports car there, can he dispose of Price Cobb in that beautiful Highway Master red car? This is going to be a good race here between Price Cobb in the Highway Master car and, of course, Tom Kendall in the Ford, currently leading the championship, but he has yet to win a race this year.
Tremendously competitive field here today. This is just spectacular racing. The last corner that enters the front straight. Now, this is where maybe the Roush horsepower, this fabled horsepower that Jack Roush has all been known for, can do something. Let's go down right now for a report to Chris McClure.
Well, it is Tom Gloy running 1-2 with Boris Said and Dorsey Schrader by in front of us. Tom steps out for a quick word on the radio. A little bit of a yellow there. Boris on the point. Is that the test of a driver's temperament when he has to sit through that up front where he's not used to being?
He's a young guy. He's got a lot of emotion, but he's pretty calm. I think it's a test, sure. But he's been here before in other areas of competition. He'll be all right, you know.
How about Dorsey? He's the man pursuing. You can't find a more veteran or savvy guy than that against his teammate.
Well, you know, maybe we should worry more about him, because he'd sure like to be at the front.
Okay. 1-2, Gloy, and he's happy about it.
And look at Price. Now, Price is coming up alongside Dorsey. He's challenging him. He's going to get by under braking.
He got by, and Tommy Kendall thought he was going to have a go too, but Dorsey Schrader did a slightly better job of turn 5, but tried to come back on Price Cobb, but he couldn't manage it.
This is just incredible racing right now. Number 4, Boris Said, continuing to lead that. And here at number 40, that is Kenny Wilden, the Jim Terhag car. He has made a pit stop.
There is Jim Terhag, chief mechanic, owner, and was a driver when I raced against him in 1983, and he only gave up like last year, so put a lot of miles under his belt. And Kenny Wilden, obviously very disappointed because this is a long trap. If they get a lap down, they're going to be in big trouble.
Boy, and he is a brilliant young driver. Kenny Wilden down from Canada, Burlington, Ontario, my old home.
Now, Dorsey Schrader in the Ray Bestas Ford is definitely running slightly off the pace. Boris Said his teammate in the 4 car has pulled away. Price Cobb is catching up with him. And, of course, Tommy Kendall in the green and black car there is looking hard now to get around Dorsey Schrader in the Ray Bestas car.
Well, one of the things we had spoken of was the number of great places on this track. Watching the replay here, David.
That was, again, he came off turn 3 good. He was right with Dorsey Schrader as they came down the straight, and it put him in an ideal spot to overtake him on the inside going into turn 5.
Dorsey really did a very intelligent thing, almost by keeping his car tight on the inside, not allowing
Kendall. He tried to block him out, but he didn't just shut the door quite enough. Chris McClure?
Kenny Wilden's car now being buttoned up. They pulled off the air cleaner, pulled with the carburation and the throttle. I'm not sure it wasn't just a stuck throttle at the carburetor end. They've got it going, and he's able to pull away. A little bit of a bobble there. But, well, maybe it's not fixed, but they did do some work on the engine. Now he's stalled in pit lane.
Tommy Kendall there, snacked to the position away from, again, from Dorsey Schrader. Dorsey must have some problem. I doubt very much if his tires have gone off this stage. He must be having an engine problem. It seems to me like he's just a little bit off the pace.
On board Ron Fellows, we've got a view of what it is like at 165 miles an hour down this back straight. The track actually drops downhill right now. Now, keep in mind, this is in 7th. Look how close this battle is.
Ron Fellows goes down the inside. I think that's his teammate,
Jamie Gallus.
Right. Wow.
And he's going to go by Dorsey as well. Everybody's going by Dorsey at that point. Dorsey Schrader has dropped from 2nd all the way back to 7th place. On board right now with Ron Fellows. We're looking at the front window following Jamie Gallus, his teammate's car, through the back section of the track.
Just tabs the brakes there going into 7. Now then, Kendall's right up now with Price Cobb in the Highway Master car, and they both wound in. Whoa, Greg Pickett there goes past Dorsey Schrader as well. Dorsey Schrader's...
Well, boy, I just don't know what's happening out there right now. Dorsey certainly cannot possibly be trying to save his tires this much.
No, John Gooding now with him too. So Dorsey Schrader in trouble here going through the carousel.
He lost a lot of ground just on that one corner alone, David. Would that be a low tire?
I think it could be a low tire.
Tom Gloy, the team owner, showing obvious concern right now, wondering why his star is going backwards.
2-time winner here, wanted to make it 3.
You can see John Gooding. He is looking all over the track for a place to pass. Dorsey hugging the outside of the track, not giving him any room at all. Gooding right on his tail through Canada corner, I believe. Yes, that's Canada.
The sun coming out there. You can see it glinting off the bodywork on these cars. Beautifully prepared, all of them. That won't be a good thing for either Dorsey Schrader or the current leader, Boris Said, in the number 4 car. But I don't think that's his problem now. There's something else wrong with the car.
Yeah, I think there is as well. John Gooding out of the front straight following Dorsey, but Dorsey's car is all the Tom Gloy cars. These have Michael Lozano motors that have shown the most impressive constant horsepower that we have seen in the Trans Am Series through these years. Wow. The battle up front, though, furious.
Kendall trying to go around the inside there of Price Cobb, but Price wasn't having anything of it.
Well, this battle is non-stop. Don't go away. We'll take a quick break. Top 5 as we come back for more racing in just a moment.
Introducing the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Coupe with a 3.1-liter V6, an all-new interior, dual airbags, and anti-lock brakes. There's a chance it might stretch your imagination. It's your money.
The complete story of the Trans Am Series is now told for the first time ever on video in the history of the Trans Am Series, 1966 to 1992. Packed with historic film and photos and interviews with Roger Penske, David Hobbs, Parnelli Jones, and many others, the history of the Trans Am Series video chronicles the series from 1966 right up to the championship battle of '92. Order the history of the Trans Am Series video for only $29.95 by calling 1-800-727-6689. That's 1-800-727-6689.
Is
the greatest race in the world, and winning it gives you a feeling you just can't imagine. Just incredible. Unbelievable. And we had exactly what we needed to get to the finish line first, including our Goodyear Eagles, the tires that know how to win at Indy.
Goodyear, #1 at the Indy 500 24 years straight.
In my lifetime, there's only been one tire legend at Indy, and that's Goodyear.
This motorsports program on Sports Up is being brought to you by Home Depot.
Welcome back to Road America. The battle is nonstop, first to fourth, only 1.05 seconds. It just doesn't get much tighter, David.
Now, Boris said there, coming into that left-hander, was well to the left to try and block any attempt by Price Cobb to go around him. I thought that Tommy Kendall, who was right on top of Price Cobb coming out of 3, would have a go into 5, but Cobb's car does seem to be very quick down the straight.
Price's car is fast. He is doing a really nice job. Part of what's helping him, I'm sure, is his experience. He has won here in virtually every type of car there is, including GTP. Tom Kendall, one more look up the inside, but didn't do it.
There we see our leader, Boris said. Wow,
John Gooding has spun off the track.
Spun right across the track again, keeping out of the way of everybody, or trying to keep out of the way of everybody.
Well, that's got to frustrate the Mountain Dew driver, because he really had the bit between his teeth all through qualifying every practice session. John Gooding has been very, very quick at this track. And speaking to him this morning, he was really pumped up about this race.
Down to the kink where we saw that amazing save from Tommy Kendall earlier on. Got all 4 wheels on the grass off the left there at about 130 miles an hour. And somehow kept it all together and only lost 1 position, which he has since recaptured. So
that was frightening, even watching from the booth.
On board again with Fellows. Fellows is now into, 5th spot? And he is still shadowing his teammate, Jamie Gallus, there in front of him. Up to turn, what they call 14. It's really turn 11.
You see Jamie just get a little bit loose. There he is on the exit. Now, this may give Ron Fellows a run at his own teammate down the straight. Let's watch and see how he compares.
You've got to come off there well so that you can tuck right under the tail like he is now and really use that draft and nail him going into the turn 1 area.
Down the front straight here.
They seem to be very evenly matched. He's not really gaining much in his draft, is he? There you see the reverse view.
Yeah, that's a view from Jamie Gallus' car watching Ronnie close up here. This is going into turn 1. You can see him get right tight into the apex. Just beautiful shots here. Now, here we go. There's a split screen that'll show us the 2 different views. Ron Fellows' view is on the bottom. Jamie Gallus's mirror view is on the top of the screen. You can watch how the 2 cars compare.
And these 2 guys are battling it out.
Oh, no, and Tom Kendall is off the track.
Wow, that's not the thing you see very often.
Kendall has spun coming onto the back straight. Let's see if he's going to try and spin it around again.
I think that's at turn 7, isn't it?
Oh, he's losing a lot of time right now. He was in 3rd place. He is just losing position after position. Extremely rare. There are the 2 teammates. You can see John Gooding and Tom Kendall, the 2 Roush cars, have both spun. We're going to look at a replay now and see just what happens.
Coming down to the turn 3 area.
Dives down the inside. Tried to go under Price Cobb.
Tried to go under Price Cobb. Price Cobb wasn't having anything of it. So that has cost Tom Kendall dear. Trying to get inside there then.
Let's go for a report down to Chris McClure.
Well, they're just trying to figure out exactly what happened and kind of shrugging down here in disappointment with the turn of events with, first of all, John Gooding looping it and then Tommy Kendall shortly thereafter. But I don't see any indication that either one is coming to the pits.
No, I don't think they will either, Chris. It appeared that both cars were able to continue. Kendall may have spun without even having contact. It was just that close. He tried to make a move up to try and get a shot at the leader. It's one of these desperation situations, and he did not make the move at all. Did not make the pass.
Tommy Kendall now has got his work cut out. He's behind Dale Phelan, so he is back in, he's back in about 20th position.
Oh, my.
From 3rd. So Tommy Kendall has now got himself about 20 laps to pull himself back to the lead of this race. He's got 18 laps to pull himself back.
Huge position. Tom Kendall down through the valley here in the bottom of the track. Pretty countryside that he will not be enjoying at this point. He has got to be very angry, and you can see that he's going to try and slash his way past. There he is, 17th, moving up on the inside. Dale Phelan moves out of the way. Good sportsmanlike driving by both those drivers, watching their mirrors, allowing Kendall up into 17th.
So Tommy Kendall was the quickest all through practice and qualifying until this morning when Ron Fellows went very fast.
For another report, let's get down to Chris McClure.
Short day, unhappily, for Kenny Wilden. What's the problem?
Well, we had last lap under the yellow. Something might have missed in the motor we were missing, and we brought it in to see if it was a spark plug wire, but we think it's probably something a little bit more than that at this point, and it's disappointing. Only my second race here. We had a sway bar malfunction at Mosport, but I think we'll be back for another one, and we were happy with the car we had. Jim Durhog did a great job, and Clark did a good job. So.
Okay, thanks, Kenny.
Great young talent, Kenny Wilden. He certainly will be back, as Jim Durhog told us earlier, and trying to put something together for next year that I hope it happens. A lot of good young drivers coming out, David. Yeah. One of them being Jamie Gallus, as we see he's back in 4th place there in our picture.
Boris said, not that young, but this is his first real full-time year in pro racing. He's done well in World Challenge and a number of other events. He's been racing in Europe in the Callaway Corvette. This is the first year with Ford, and on board now, of course, with Jamie Gallus as we come around that carousel. Gives you an idea of just how long that corner is. I mean, that's what I used to term a neck stretcher. I mean, that really, you got to be fit to go through those corners.
It goes on forever. You can see also just how tight this grid is. From 1st to 4th is only a very short distance. Could Boris said, put yourself in that number 4 car? Could he be trying to save his tires?
Well, I'm sure he is trying to.
Well, down through the valley. Beautiful pictures here today. Boris said continues to lead our race over Price Cobb, and we'll be back with more racing.
In these mountains, you need a tough truck.
Dave Ashley, search and rescue volunteer.
Trails, I tend to make my own. It's one torture test after another. But the people I'm looking for depend on someone to find them. Well, I depend on something too. My Ford F-Series. How do you learn a job like this? Let's just say I drive something tougher than a golf cart on the weekends.
Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford Tough.
Power up with a power-engineered system from Competition Cam. Matching components for peak horsepower. Cams, lifters, springs, valves, rockers, timing sets, and push rods. An unbeatable system. Power-engineered components produce outstanding power and outstanding torque. Cam Help is your toll-free link to the Competition Cam's technical department. Call 1-800-999-0853. You can't beat a power-engineered system from Competition Cam.
Nothing would give me more pleasure than beating the Yanks in their own backyard.
What did he say?
Bring them on.
We'll settle this in Laguna.
It's a rivalry you won't want to miss. Call 1-800-327-SECA for tickets.
Ford Contour brings you a world of innovative performance ideas, like the powerful yet efficient Z-Tech engine, and the Duratec that can go 100,000 miles before its first recommended tune-up, which is a long way down the road. Ideas like the Quadrolink suspension, so smart, it allows your rear wheels to adjust in sync with the front for more precise control, and that's a turn for the better. The totally new Ford Contour, a world car for the 21st century, well equipped for just $14,670.
Welcome back to Road America at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Bill Adam, David Hobbs, and Chris McClure with you on a spectacular racetrack with spectacular racing today. Our leader, number 4, the Tom Gloy Mustang, that is Boris said, followed very closely. Number 15, Highwaymaster car of Price Cobb. Then it appears that is Brian Till, that is Brian Till in 3rd place, followed closely by Jamie Gallus.
Brian Till's having a terrific race, another rookie. So we've got 2 rookies, the 2 leaders in the rookie class there, Price Cobb and Brian Till, absolutely in lockstep there. Boris said seems to put a little bit of daylight between himself and Price Cobb. But Price Cobb, of course, may be a very experienced driver. He may be waiting game here. He sees the sun is out, and he may know that those tires on Boris Said's car are going to go off. Well, that's what he hopes.
Well, I hope. But let's go down to Chris McClure.
Well, David, they do know both of those things in the Price Cobb camp. Jimmy Frazier, is he marking time right now? He's got a youngster in front of him.
Well, he's running as hard as he can. We're hanging in there. No, that's as fast as he can pedal right there.
That's it, huh?
What he fast. Tell him his
kind of
driver
trying
just
to
drove
save
off
it,
the
but
road.
you can't lose the lead.
Yeah, he's off the road, we're told, just now. So let's go back upstairs.
Oh, he went off the road, and you can see Brian Till got forced off the road there again on that pass. Now, this is going to hurt Till tremendously. Cobb was able to recover. Some spectacular driving being shown today by these Trans Am competitors.
Yeah, Bryce Cobb goes off the road, then comes back on the road, then pushes Brian Till off the road, and meanwhile, Jamie Gallas is right up with Bryce. So that is a tremendous break, of course, for Boris Said in the 4 car, who's now out of sight. There you see him, big lead. That is the best thing that happened to tell Boris Said all afternoon. Tom Gloy will be smiling down in the pits, no doubt.
Well, the Ford people, I think, can breathe a little sigh of relief right now because they have just a battalion of Camaros biting up those exhaust pipes currently. What looked like it may be a Ford show has turned out to be a real Chevrolet chase right now. Boris Said, the only Ford Mustang, out in front of just a whole gaggle of Camaros. Well, let's take a look at just exactly what happened here just a moment ago, David.
Well, there's turn 7, that very fast sweeper. Bryce Cobb goes wide. Maybe he got touched there by the yellow car of Greg Pickett of Brian Till. Not absolutely sure. But anyway, he follows him down, goes down the inside here of 8, just to make sure in case it was him that touched him, pushes Brian Till off to the outside. Brian Till nearly loses it, gathers it all up, doesn't hit anything as he lurches back onto the track in front of course, Greg Pickett in the number 6 car, his teammate and owner.
I think just some really amazing driving. Let's get down to Chris McClure.
Well, after we left Jimmy Frazier to take a look at that incident, Jimmy got on the horn with Bryce Cobb, and he did not report any damage. You always wonder about that suspension-wise when something happens, but no report of damage to the Cobb car.
Yeah, and I think another one of those amazing things, Chris, was it appeared that Bryce Cobb did not lift off the gas pedal at all, similar to what Tom Kendall had. Oh, it's sideways. Greg Pickett gets really sideways under braking. He's going to loop it. Down at the bottom of the track, almost blocks the track. 2 cars. His own teammate, Brian Till, stalled right beside Greg Pickett. The 2 Pickett Camaros are dead at turn 5 right now. Pickett is able to refire. Till cannot move currently. There he is, Brian Till back underway, but has lost huge amounts of ground. Greg Pickett turning his car around to rejoin the race.
And there's Paul Gentilozzi just past them, and of course any moment
and Brian
now,
Till pulling off.
So what happened to Brian Till there then?
Brian Till's car, that number 9 Camaro, has pulled off the track. That was a voluntary pull-off on his part. So he has broken something. You can see disgust as he's flicking the visor up.
Well, of course, he's given that car pretty hard treatment the last couple of 3 corners, bashing into Cobb, going off the road there. Won't have done the suspension much good.
Well, there's the pit area for Pickett Racing. They're wondering what the heck has happened. Here, let's take a look at this last minute. Watch Greg Pickett come down the inside, getting so deep and then banging his own teammate.
Well, yeah, but I think it was accidental. Oh, he's probably broken the left front stub axle or something there.
Way too deep at this point. Look at this. Almost takes out Fellows. Is that reminiscent of Phoenix?
Wow, Fellows just misses everything. And Brian Till stops there.
Incredible.
Now he's out. I'm not quite sure why. I suspect that left front suspension cried enough. It's been hit by his teammate. And, of course, it was also hit by Bryce Cobb the lap before. They went over some rough ground there at pretty high speed.
Oh.
So who knows? So Brian Till will now lose some valuable points in his race for Rookie of the Year.
And that is amazing. We can see Brian Till is just absolutely disgusted. That's the worst thing in the world, David. You not only get hit and knocked out of the race, but you get hit by your own teammate, and you can't even say anything to him because he's your boss.
And he's coming in.
Car number 6.
I think that the 6 car had the flat tire going into turn 5, which is why he lost control in the first place and hit Brian Till. He didn't run into Brian Till. He just...
Yeah,
he was out of control, and Brian Till was there.
And since Greg Pickett is Brian Till's boss, he definitely cannot say anything to him.
But I think the tire had gone flat, and it was just one of those unfortunate things. I think that's why he went so deep in the... Whoa!
You can see it flapping.
That's the sort of thing that's going to get you badly because the tires come apart.
Look at the bodywork.
It's going to wreck all that bodywork.
Okay, Brian Till's car, you can see there is fire coming from under the hood. He is asking for a fire extinguisher. The guy's looking for his lighter in the pocket. Can't find anything, so... Get the hood off. It's just a pocket screwdriver trying to get the Zeus fasteners off the nose of that car so they can lift it off, get the extinguisher underneath. Maybe that is just igniting some of the dry grass below it. I suspect it's the very hot brakes. Look at the damage from the flapping tire. Unbelievable. This probably has damaged the rear suspension, David.
It's damaged the rear suspension. It's completely damaged that rear bodywork, too. If it goes on much longer, the whole thing will come flying apart.
Incredible changes. Car number 9, Brian Till, the teammate to Greg Pickett. You can see that he is just smoking. That is probably the hot brake that maybe has picked up some bits of rubber or some dry grass. Let's go down to Chris McClure.
While we await the arrival of the car, as the team has been doing, is they sent out alarms for different parts. First they yelled for the tire, then they yelled for tape. Everybody's ready to go. The left rear is down. The right rear bumper is caved in. That's probably from the initial contact. The tires and the crew are over the wall, under yellow on this racetrack. They're trying to rip the tire free, and that could be a very difficult process. They got it out. It's all shredded, but it's away from the car, and now they're putting the new one on, and really the rest of it doesn't look too bad. A lot of bodywork stripped away, but it's not touching the tire nor the suspension. He might be okay.
Wow, this is amazing. It looks like he is going to rejoin the race. They're signaling for the jack down.
And away he goes.
And, of course, he's even more unlucky there because all this conflagration down here at Turn 5 has brought out the pace car. So we're now under a full course caution.
Unbelievable how quickly things change. Boris said continues to read this race over Price Cobb. Stay with us. We'll be back with more racing.
Mom, Dad, how can kids spend a wonderful summer day? Kids Fest at Six Flags, full of special events for kids. Meet the characters from the hit movie Batman Forever. Batman, Robin, Two-Face, and the Riddler. And as a special bonus, kids 3 to 9 can collect free Batman Forever trading cards. There's the all-new Six Flags Animal Action Show, plus all kinds of great rides for the whole family. So head on up to Kids Fest, every day, July 8th through 23rd, only at Six Flags. A world of fun, not a world away. Save on admission with discount coupons from Kroger.
It's the 1995 Pet Parade, a walk for animals benefiting the Atlanta Humane Society, sponsored by Ralston Purina and Kroger. On Saturday, August 19th, hundreds of Georgians and their furry friends will make treks to Six Flags over Georgia. Every pet is welcome. A minimum pledge of $25 entitles you to a Six Flags ticket and much more. Plus, the top fundraiser wins a trip to anywhere in the continental U.S., compliments of TWA. Get your tail in gear. Grab an entry form at Kroger or call this number to walk in this year's Pet Parade.
But one wrong move, and you're kissing the canvas. Fight Night at the Forum. Tomorrow night at 11 on Sports Sound.
Welcome back to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Another one of these incredible Trans Am races. Bill Adam, David Hobbs, Chris McClure. Look at car number 3. That is Ron Fellows, the AER Camaro, who we saw narrowly avoiding. But did he avoid it all? It doesn't appear so. A replay watching from inside Ronnie's car, and look at all this mess.
There you see Greg Pickett sliding it and just clips the front of the car there. Brian Till goes off to the rear. The two cars spin.
Now another view.
See, I think at this stage, I think that Greg Pickett's left rear tire is already flat, which is why he just went completely out of control down there.
He is right side. You can see that.
Just clips the front of Ron Fellows. That's what broke it.
Just barely gets touched. And now we get a view from Jamie Gallis's car. Here we're on board. Look at what's happening out behind you.
So there's Ron Fellows behind him, and here comes Greg Pickett weaving down the inside.
And you can see he's far too deep in the corner. Watch Ron turn in. And it's that close.
Now Ron Fellows has to do a quick jink to his extreme left, which he does.
Now we're on board. Number 3 AER car.
Didn't come into the pits.
No, this is an aero change that I think is going to hurt him to a huge extent on this particular track. He may be able to get away with it at Detroit.
If it all flies off and gets jammed under the wheel arch, it'll cut the tire and that'll be done for.
Well, I wonder, these are pretty sophisticated bodies. They're all carefully sculptured in wind tunnels to try and give as much downforce but as little drag as possible. This is the worst place right on the front of the Camaro, so that's going to hurt Ron.
And, of course, the worst racetrack for it to happen. The other thing it'll do is it'll block off the air intake to the front brakes, too, and brakes here take a real pounding.
Well, Road America is giving us everything we thought it would and more, so stay with us.
In Alaska, we need a tough truck.
Didi Genro, legendary Iditarod racer.
To get ready for a 1,000-mile dog sled race, there are 2 things I count on. My dogs. This is Maverick. Which I pamper. And my Ford F-Series, which I don't. I appreciate a truck that provides dependable, tough performance. And my F-Series has never growled once.
Ford F-Series. From the ultimate dog race to the fast-paced human race, the best-selling trucks are built Ford Tough.
Love is California Gold. The finest cleaners, polishes, and finish restorers. Carnauba wax protects and shines. Easy to apply, looks great.
California Gold. There's no shine like Mother's.
I'll race you for your nutmeg, boys. Gentlemen, you want to make it in NASCAR? Hold on to your nutmegs.
Say, you feel a draft? The Miller Genuine Draft 500 hits the Pocono. And heads are turning as drivers throw caution to the wind in Winston Cup Racing. MGT 500 qualifying, Friday at 3, live on Sports South.
Coverage of the 6th round of the 1995 SCCA Trans Am Championship is being brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, there is one man out there driving a Ford right now, and he's driving it very, very quickly. Boris Said, still our leader, the number 4 Tom Gloy Mustang. He continues to circulate just a few feet ahead of number 15 Price Cobb.
Price Cobb is looking very, very strong to me. Right behind him is Jamie Gallus. They're coming up to take the flag now. I think the pace car lights are out. The pace car is pulling off. This is going to be a tremendous fight, and of course that caution period really played into the hands of Tommy Kendall, who's now up to 10th position.
Boy, and I think Boris has to be very careful right here because Price Cobb got a spectacular start, David.
Boris Said right over.
Oh, and look at the pieces flying.
That's the front of Ron Fellows' car blown off.
There it is. You can see that maybe a headlight cover left Ron Fellows' company car off the track on the exit. Let's get down to Chris McClure.
Well, that's exactly what they feared. The problem was the damage was on the left side of the car. From the pits, that's the other side. They couldn't ever see it. Ron couldn't tell from in the car what was wrong, and they elected to stay out under the yellow, hoping it'd hold together when they got some speed back. It didn't.
Once again, we're on board taking a look at just what happened. That is the Dorsey Schrader Mustang immediately ahead of us. He was able to pass Ron Fellows on the corner leading onto this long back straight, but he has closed right back up.
Dorsey Schrader, who had that sinking spell earlier on, must have had a problem of some sort. There's the 2 leaders clocked very hot. Jamie Gallus right behind them, and now Dorsey Schrader there has passed Ron Fellows and is now in hot pursuit of Jamie Gallus, and maybe yet still a podium finish. Price Cobb going down the inside there. Boris Said all over the road here, trying to keep Price Cobb at bay. This is going to be a tough call, though. There's still nearly halfway to go. We're just over the halfway mark.
And just to remind the viewers, remember that the Mustangs running first and fourth, are on the softer front tires. The long pace car situations really do help the Gloy cars.
Will help them a lot. Here's the kink from above. You can see very fast right-hander, and actually more of a corner than I ever realized going around it myself. It always was a bit of a hitch-up job, that one.
It's one where you hold your breath. You go through it so fast. Boris Said, you can see, has pulled out a little bit of a lead along through the valley. Price Cobb, second place, the number 15 Highwaymaster car. He is just ahead of Jamie Gallus. That is the strong running car right now. The Glidden car, very pretty paint job, ICI Glidden. Let's go back down to Chris McClure.
Don Murphy is on the horn with Jamie Gallus, who's running a very fine race. But Don, as you work with Jamie, I know he was a little discouraged early because he was getting past, but there was a reason. Well, there they go as Jamie goes by. You told me Jamie was a little discouraged early in the race because he was passed, but there was a reason for that.
Well, at the start of the race, he said that everybody went by him on the straightaway, and of course that means they've got a pretty strong motor and a low downforce setup. And we talked about it a bit in the ensuing yellow flags, and we discussed the fact that he's got a car we've set up for the end of this race, not the beginning of it, and he's comfortable with that as we've seen on the track. The track's doing a lot of work for us today. It's taking a lot of people out. He'll be there at the end.
Translation, he's got that 600 on the left front.
That is a hard tire, and it's certainly tough to put up with once they're in a pace car condition. Paul Gentilozzi, that is the team leader, the Highwaymaster car. He is in the pits. You can see there's damage on the right front corner of his car. Jamie Gallus, Dorsey Schrader continuing down to the bottom end of the course. That is after the high-speed straight. Heavy braking area where contact took place between Brian Till and Craig Pickett.
Dorsey Schrader.
Oh.
Great picture there of Dorsey Schrader right behind Jamie Gallus. As I said earlier, Dorsey Schrader had a bit of a sinking spell early on, but seems to be coming back strongly now, although A little bit of a gap opened up there, but you watch him catch up here on braking into 8.
What do you think about the sinking spell maybe being those front tires overheating?
Yeah, it seems unlikely that his would have done, and Boris's
would be okay.
There you get a good view of the carousel, just how long it goes on and how much load that left front, that soft left front, is having to take through there.
You can see also how well Jamie's car worked through there, David.
Jamie's Camaro is working extremely well. Here's the kink. Wow, 125 mile an hour. Down through what they call kettle moraine, this long back straight. But as you can see, it's not actually straight. It has a very, very fast left kink in the middle. And, of course, you're still going slightly left when you brake hard for this corner, Canada corner. Up through the gears, under the bridge.
It's great just to hear that.
Hear the old gears there. There's the bridge. Swoop out into open country, now into the final turn.
Boy, Dorsey closes
Dorsey
right up
really
there.
Closes up there. The Fords are quick in a straight line, and it's going to be interesting to see just how he can hang on to him down the long main front straightaway here.
There's a good view. We can see just exactly how those two cars compare. Similar engine size, similar horsepower, and the aerodynamics. It depends on who you talk to. If you talk to the Ford people, the Chevys are better. If you talk to Chevys, the Fords are better. But there's Ron Fellow's wounded car. And look in the background, the black-green car, Tom Kendall, is coming back.
Tommy Kendall's now got to dispose of Tony Arve. He's now getting up into the sharp end of this race, and of course the drivers that he's already passed were relatively easy, but in front of him is a clutch of drivers who are not going to give up easily at all.
Tony Arve, no, I'm sorry, that's Rob Rizzo right there, the number 27 car, back after that huge crash at Belle Isle, Michigan.
I thought Rob Rizzo would give him a bit of trouble, but he obviously got around him. Rizzo now coming under pressure from John Gooding in the Mountain Dew car.
And once again, I think credit to John Gooding. He is having a really good run today. Oh, and there's some bumping.
Whoa,
Oh,
Dorsey
no.
Schrader.
Dorsey
Schrader edged him off the road there. That was, you couldn't get much more deliberate than that.
No, I think that was shades of NASCAR, Dorsey. Number 12, Ray Bestis' car. You can see Jamie Gallus trying to rejoin number 2. Car number 6, you can see that is Greg Pickett's car.
That's stuck on the way into the pits. A bad place to break down that because a very steep hill. There's R.J. Valentine, a teammate.
And he's got a tire down, too. Look at his right rear tire.
I think, yeah, very down.
Boy, oh boy, lots of action. Once again, here's the bottom of the straight. Dorsey Schrader tries to get a little too close to Jamie.
Well, yeah, Jamie turns into the corner, and Dorsey Schrader just nudges him there. I don't know whether that was deliberate or whether he'd just run out of brakes, maybe.
Well, I thought at that point you'd be on the gas, wouldn't you? I know you and I'd be on the gas at that point. Look at a view in car. Here is onboard Jamie Gallus' car. Watch out behind.
He's going for the inside.
Listen to the engine.
Jamie Gallus is not blocking him. I mean, whoa. Boom. Wow. Well, sound effects and all, folks. You can't do that.
And there is Greg Pickett's car. You can see the beating that the side of his car took from that flat tire earlier.
The differential is probably shot on it. You can hear it rattling. You hear that terrible rattling noise. I'd say the gear's broken.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. R.J. Valentine, this is the third and the last car of the Greg Pickett team. He is falling out too as he has a right rear tire problem. Well, Boris Said is continuing to lead just ahead of Bryce Cobb, but the racing is far from over at Road America, Wisconsin. Stay with us and we'll be back with more.
Introducing Feel the Love, 40 truly passionate songs by today's most popular artists.
I'm mad about you. You're mad about me. Wherever you go, I'll be with you. We belong to the light, we belong to the love. And I'm gonna keep on loving you. What did I say?
Feel the Love. 40 hits on 3 cassettes or 3 CDs. Here's how to order.
Call toll-free 1-800-533-1400. Call from the U.S. or Canada. That's 1-800-533-1400. $19.95 for 3 cassettes or $26.95 for 3 CDs. To order Feel the Love, call 1-800-533-1400 now.
The Atlanta area will be experiencing severe thunder.
So get ready. Atlanta Thunder Team Tennis returns on Sports South, featuring new headliners Zena Garrison Jackson and Ken Flack. Get thunderstruck with 3 live matchups in July. Tune in to Thunder and have the opportunity to ride off for a week in a 318 Ti BMW hatchback in the Atlanta Thunder Tennis Escape Contest. It all starts Friday night at 8 as the Thunder face the Explorers live on Sports South.
Welcome back to Road America. Bill Adam, David Hobbs, Chris McClure with you. An afternoon of slam-bang Trans Am racing.
Well, there, of course, is Tommy Kendall in that black and green car, the old sports car. Now, Brian Simo in another Mustang is his next victim. He got around Tony Harvey, and then just in front of them is going to be the 22 car. Yep. It goes down the inside there. Brian Simo has to give best because Tommy Kendall's in the line. He's on the line now. Whoa, and that... is that Price Cobb spot?
That looks like Price Cobb's car. He is spun. Yes, it is number 15.
Price Cobb in second spot, an easy second spot.
Unbelievable. We have also just been advised by SCCA Dorsey Schrader will be getting a black flag for a stop-and-go penalty. They felt that bump was a little too flagrant.
Because now he's up to second, so Gloy Motorsports cars now are lying first and second. Boris said in first, Tom Gloy running up to remonstrate with the officials. Hey, what are you going to do to my boy?
Yeah, I guarantee his heartbeat right now is at a record pace. He's saying, you're going to do what? Well, Tom Gloy is going to argue for all he's worth, but I'm afraid it will be hopeless at this point. That looked like a pretty flagrant bump from where we saw it. There isn't a whole lot he can do. He is just in a state of disbelief right now. Dorsey Schrader will lose his second place.
But, of course, Price Cobb, who had an absolute dead sure second place, also spun it away. There we see Dorsey Schrader, and behind him is that clutch of cars racing now for third spot, and amongst them is the 11 car of Tommy Kendall right there.
And Kendall is just making a great charge back up through here, but there's the number 12. We're going to have to watch him as he comes through this final corner. Remember, if same thing happens here at Indianapolis, if he does not report, scoring could very well stop him. He is going past the pits this time. He will receive the signal of a black flag. Report to your pits. Watch the starter stand as he goes underneath it. That was it. The black flag was shown to Dorsey Schrader. The car running in second place will be reporting to the pits next lap.
And there in third spot is Ron Fellows. In spite of that damage to his fender, he's, Dorsey Schrader. I don't know about the front tires going off. The rear tires are going if he does that too much.
A little dirt tracking going on right there. Let's go down to Chris McClure.
Well, the argument from Tom Gloy to the SCCA rages on. The call is that he hit number 2 and spun him out. They're going to stop and go, and Tom Gloy shouted at them a moment ago. He said, you think that's the first time it's happened in this series? And they're arguing their case fervently, but I think they've now given it up to stop coming in a moment.
Well, I believe they should give it up. It really looked pretty flagrant. We're going to see an in-car replay of just what it looked like once again. On board Jamie Gallus, listen to the sound. That is Dorsey Schrader coming up behind us. Turning in. And bump.
Good bump. I'm still not 100% convinced it was absolutely deliberate, but there it is. It's so hard to tell, and of course it's one of the difficulties that officials are faced with the world over. But of course the one thing they do have to be is consistent, and this is something that a lot of officials are not.
Well, and this is it's a good news, bad news situation, because once Dorsey does report, now let's look at this replay one more time and just see as they go into the corner. There's the apex, David, right? Oh, yeah, I don't know. He certainly was on the gas earlier than Jamie. Let's just put it that way. The good news, bad news is that Dorsey will be losing second place, but the other team car, the other Tom Gloy car of Boris Ed, will now have a 6-second lead over the entire field.
And, of course, coming up is this race here. There's Ron Fellows in the 3 car, and behind him now is Tommy Kendall, who's pulled up from 20th and is now hounding Fellows for third spot. And, of course, with the car of Schrader stopping, that'll put them into second and third.
That's right. You can see Tom Kendall coming down the inside. This has huge importance because, respectively, Tom Kendall is leading the championship over this man. The AER Camaro of Ron Fellows is running in second place. So every position, there's another black flag for Dorsey Schrader. He did not report to the pits, probably being told by team owner Tom Gloy to stay out. I imagine Tom now is saying, that's it. You might as well bring it indoors.
Well, we saw what happened to Michael Schumacher when he did that at the British Grand Prix.
Whoa! Oh, no, and there's Ron Fellows off the track.
Now they did Ron Fellows and Tommy Kendall touch going into that corner.
Minor damage to the car, but let's take Tom Candle continues on around the track. We have been advised that number 12, Dorsey Schrader, is no longer being scored. Similar to the Scott Goodyear incident at the Indy 500 this year, scoring has stopped on number 12.
Good grief. This is a demolition derby. I don't know what happened to Ron Fellows there. Went off at turn 1. That's where A.J. Foyt had that tremendous crash a few years ago and hurt himself badly. But Fellows has been modified since then. Fellows is in the track.
And credit have to go to this track as well. Just the safety of this track. The point where Ron Fellows just went off is probably 160 miles per hour. So it appears that the actual impact that he had was very light. This man now, Tom Candle, moves up into a strong second place. So Ford is currently running 1 and 2. We're going to take another look at Ron Fellows. Here we are on board his car, and let's watch.
Coming up to turn 1 and right on his tail. Tommy Kendall tries to go around the outside. Whoa!
And there was contact there, too. Oh, now perhaps there is another black flag incident. Tom Candle definitely made contact with the left rear corner of Ron Fellows' car. That is very strange.
Again, I don't think it was deliberate. He was trying to go around the outside, which is certainly the difficult way to do it.
That was not quite as clear-cut as what we saw earlier. We can see out the back that the car appears fine. Let's go down to Chris McClure.
Well, I think the argument's been abandoned by Tom Gloy because the team has asked the other teams upstream of them to move back. Dorsey Schrader's going to answer the black flag in just a second.
And I take it by answering the black flag and having them move back that he's going to do one of the AA fuel burnouts here after he makes a stop and go. There he is. He's entering pit lane, Chris.
Here he comes. The SC is on hand to enforce the stop and go. He stopped and he can go. Nearly stalled it in the low gear, but he does get a little blue tire smoke as he leaves and 2 black streaks back behind him.
Just a haze of smoke as he rejoins the race, but second place is only a, well, actually I won't say only a memory right now because we have seen Tom Candle go all the way back to 20th and has worked his way back up to second place. So there is no such thing as being out of contention in this race, apparently.
Well, Tommy Kendall is the championship leader. Ron Fellows was lying second. Ron Fellows is now in the grass at turn 1. Tommy Kendall is still in the race, but there was bodily contact there. So let's see what Fellows thinks about that incident. Not much, I would think.
Let's go back down to Chris McClure.
While still a look of deep disgust on the face of Tom Gloy. Tom, your argument to no avail, but the point you were trying to make, please.
Well, Dorsey said it was accidental. There's been lots of contact. I mean, they're under heavy braking and they make contact. His point is, hey, I didn't try to do it. It's not the only contact of the race, but it is the only black flag penalty. Not fair.
Well, I can certainly understand the frustration right now that he has just seen a potential 1-2 finish for his team. And
Tom Gloy has got a very good point. The thing about being an official at a race is you have to be consistent, and we do see a lot of inconsistencies in it.
Well, this race just keeps on getting wilder and wilder. We're going to be back with a pretty exciting finish as Fords hold the top 5 positions. Don't go away.
At Chevrolet, we're not just out here winning. We're testing suspensions, developing more powerful engines, and learning more about aerodynamics. Because if you want to bring more race-winning technology to the street than any other car company, sometimes you have to work weekends. That's genuine Chevrolet.
The grass couldn't be greener in Newport as the top stars in tennis serve it up in the Miller Lite Hall of Fame Championship. Coverage of the semifinals begins Saturday at 2 on Sports South.
The Atlanta area will be experiencing severe thunder.
So get ready. Atlanta Thunder Team Tennis returns on Sports South, featuring new headliners Zena Garrison Jackson and Ken Flack. Get thunderstruck with 3 live matchups in July. Tune in to Thunder and have the opportunity to ride off for a week in a 318 Ti BMW hatchback in the Atlanta Thunder Tennis Escape Contest. It all starts Friday night at 8 as the Thunder face the Explorers live on Sports South.
Welcome back to the Prime Trans Am Classic here at Elkhart Lake, Road America. Bill Adam, David Hobbs, Chris McClure with you as we watch that number 4 Tom Gloy Mustang go around the track with the lead Also, the other part of the Tom Gloy team, the Ray Bestis crew, is major league disappointed, David.
Well, they're looking pretty bummed out, but there's another guy who's looking incredibly disappointed. Ron Fellows, he's so disgusted he hasn't even taken his helmet off. He's way down at turn 1. Look at him watching Tommy Kendall go through.
Oh, man, he was staring all right. There were daggers coming out of that visor.
And now, look at the gap between first and second. Tommy Kendall is winding him in at the rate of nearly a second a lap.
He is closing down.
And we have got 3 laps to go.
And this is what might really hurt him, because Boris, remember, was on the soft front tires. Tom Kendall's team decided to put him on the hard tires. It is not an impossibility to catch him at this point.
And the sun is out, so the heat will be up on the track. There you see the flame out on Tommy Kendall's car as he goes down into turn 5. The very tight second gear left-hander up the hill to 6. That's quite a steep hill, that. Blind brow over the top into 6. It's very difficult to brake into there because you lose weight as the car goes over the top. Does he touch the brakes here? Just a little barely. If he hadn't done that, you'd have known this was a guy on a mission.
Well,
uses all the road coming out of 7, and now you can see the gap to number 4 is visibly shrinking, but of course catching up with Boris Said and getting around him are 2 different things.
And I'm sure that you're going to get advice from Tom Gloy saying don't let your car get too thin out there.
On the other hand, he's going to say don't on any account put him off the road, I'll black flag you again.
Well, Tom Kendall at number 11 All Sports car has made a spectacular charge up through the field today. Obviously benefited by some of the pace car incidents, but he has done a really good job coming up.
Well, this is the 3rd time that Tommy Kendall's had one of these amazing runs from behind. He did it twice at Mosport and came, what, 2nd or 3rd from nowhere, changed those tires. Everybody thought he'd gone mad.
Oh, and
changed tires, locking up the right front, so his tires may be getting a bit skinny.
I think maybe that's a sign that he is really trying hard. Now, there is the other one, another one of the Tom Gloy cars running there. That's the Valvoline car that we have not talked about today of Brian Simo, one of my favorite drivers, and young Rob Rizzo. What a great comeback, followed by John Gooding.
And this will be career best for these two, for the 27 car of Rizzo and for Simo.
And I believe Gooding also. I don't think he has had a finish this strong. Gooding really has been very inspired.
Well, just 2 laps to go. Of course, 2 laps here is still a long way.
2 laps.
Still another 8 miles.
We could have Greg Pickett come back out and win it, perhaps. Rob Rizzo, 4th place, young man who definitely has a future in Trans Am racing. Just one of the nicest, most personable young drivers you could want to meet, and obviously blessed with a lot of talent. John Gooding, one of the happiest drivers you could want to meet.
Whoa,
John, by gee, you talk about using it up.
That'll use your tires up doing that. Picks up all that gravel and grit that's on the outside there. The tire won't be much good for this corner here, so he needs to be very careful.
Yeah, John is running hard, and that's just about the way he drives, too. Always smiling. Let's go down to Chris McClure.
Well, Ron Fellows is out. Of course, he had the earlier damage, but a few minutes ago after contact, he stepped aside. The contact with Kendall Buzz McCall, you have some action in mind.
Well, I mean, what can we do? I mean, Tommy obviously was irresponsible and took Ron out. I hope Ron, our Mustang's okay. You know, Ron's had 2 tough crashes this year, but there's no excuse for that. I mean, Dorsey took Jamie out. Tommy takes Ron out. It's kind of going to be a tough year for American Equipment Racing, but we're going to put it back together and hope for better days.
Okay, thank you.
Well, as Buzz McCall knows, racing is a tough sport, and these things do happen. And just look at the way Tommy Kendall has wound Boris Said in. Boris Said has got a lap and a half to hold Tommy Kendall off. Tommy Kendall, much more experienced than Boris at this level of racing. Boris put on a great display this afternoon, but boy, oh boy, he's going to have his work cut out to hold Boris.
I think the Roush car is setting up for a pass, David, right at the end of this straight. Here we go, coming into Canada Corner. You can see Boris hugging the inside of the track. He has got to try blocking as much as possible at this point. Oh, and Kendall's going alongside. He's passed him.
Kendall came off the corner quicker. Boris went in too deep, lost some time. Kendall pulled up alongside, swept by him, and now I think he'll put some daylight between himself. So, Tommy Kendall has gone from 20th to 1st, and Dorsey Schrader, who had that stop and go, his back up to 6th again from that 2nd spot. So not all is lost for the Tom Gloy team. Looks like it could easily end up 2nd and 5th.
Absolutely amazing. You can see Tom Kendall getting the white flag, 1 lap to go. Team owner Tom Gloy looks over in frustration. His man
Gloy now just thinking, I don't believe it.
There is Max Jones from Roush. I think he's showing disbelief in his face too. Just an incredible day. Unbelievable comebacks. Amazing races going on here all over the track. Number 4, Boris Said, after leading almost this entire race, still running a strong 2nd. He is not out of the picture by any means.
But the Gloy car, the Kendall car certainly seems to have picked up a lot of speed. I think Chris McClure's got a report for us. Chris?
Buzz McCall a moment ago, he wasn't very happy with Tom Kendall, but what he didn't say is that they have already filed a protest with SCCA for that action. They're hoping for a fine or maybe a penalty, moving him back positions. Man, if they get that, it could change this race where Kendall is now.
It certainly could. I think Buzz was really speaking from a position of emotion right then. He did not have the view. As John Gooding has spun off at the bottom of the track on the last lap, firing the car back up. Just amazing. Nobody wants to win this race.
Nobody wants to finish it.
My Lord. John Gooding rejoins the race. He is underway again. Just a little too much exuberance on the final lap of the race.
I think John Gooding lost 2 places there, too. So dropping from 5th to 6th. It's 5th to 7th, probably.
That's still probably going to be a career best for him as we see Tom Kendall the last time through the kink. Again, I think Buzz McCall may be speaking with emotion. He did not have the view we had. It did not look like a flagrant hit from Kendall's part, but that'll be up to review. It's going to be a very unhappy Tom Gloy, though. In fact, there is Tom Gloy right there as he is watching on. He knows that he is not going to have the victory that came so close today. Well, Max Jones and the Roush team, they're all waiting, and I'm sure that
Max Jones almost looks as if he can't believe it. He looks unhappy. He's probably just got the news about
He's got shock in his eyes.
Yeah, he has.
Well, Tom Kendall up the front straight. He'll be taking the first checkered flag. The 1995 season. Tom Kendall, your winner of Road America.
At second, Boris said. What a great day for Boris said. I mean, not like a win, of course, but it was still a tremendous race for him.
And Brian Simo, the Valvoline car, boy, what a spectacular chart for him. Rob Rizzo coming 4th. Really a great day. A lot of drivers put in some truly spectacular
And right behind them was Dorsey Schrader, who had picked up to 5th place.
Let's get back down to Chris McClure.
Danny Binks spent the last 2 days explaining that the test they ran just prior to Portland had a big payoff, even though it was a bit of a hassle to do. The payoff just now, eh?
The payoff is incredible. We came here and tested. We drove all night to get here. We drove all night back. It just paid off. It was a terrific car. The all-sport car was awesome. Kendall was awesome. To come back from getting off there in the kink, just tremendous. We're glad for everybody at Ford.
Don't want to throw a wet blanket on it, but Buzz McCall and the boys are pretty unhappy down there. They think Tommy took him out, Ron Fellows, with some contact there. Did Tom say anything about that?
Tom said he was trying to outbrake him, and they just touched together. You know, that's what happened in the kink also with, I think it was Price Cobb. So, you know, it's unfortunate that happened, but we're just trying to win races, and sorry, but that's what happened.
And is this the sort of springboard you needed to cement up the chase for the championship?
Well, we just need to win some races. We've been to a bunch of races this year. We haven't been able to win one. We had a bunch of seconds. You know, I'm tired of second. I want to win one.
Well, you just did.
Thanks. Great.
Yeah, he certainly was tired of second place, but today makes up for a lot. We're going to get another look at maybe the incident of the race on board Ron Fellows, and watch where Fellows' car is on the track, David. Watch where the braking starts taking place.
See, Ron is blocking the track here. He's right over to the left. He's making sure he's got the inside line blocked. And, of course, Tommy Kendall tries to come down the outside and just nails him. Only just tagged him.
It was very, very light. I still can't tell if that took movement or not. Let's get back down to Chris McClure.
Tom Gloy here, and when you run 3 cars, there's ups and downs on a day, and there certainly were over here disappointment with Dorsey in the penalty, but you have to give Boris great credit for a terrific drive.
Great young man. Did a really good job. Obviously led everything but the last couple, and Tommy was coming real hard. He did a great job. You know, I also got to say good things about Brian Simo. That's his first podium finish. Comes home 3rd from a 12th starting spot. You know, those guys are, those are the No Fear twins, more or less. I mean,
well,
the No Fear buddies.
You got a couple of young lions there, don't you?
I do, and I'm happy to have them.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks.
Heck of a job, Tom. Your guys did do a spectacular job today. On board, Jamie Gallus, as he goes around the track, his last lap here today. Jamie also did a really nice job. Just got involved in a couple of very frustrating incidents. To look at our top 5 today, as this Road America Trans Am Classic comes to a finish. Tom Kendall wins for Ford over Boris Said, Brian Simo, Rob Rizzo, Dorsey Schrader. We'll be right back.
Starting on up, you're behind the wheel. Move it down the road now, see how it feels, yeah. Add more life to your car, take it to the stars.
From
Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines to Haviland Formula 3 motor oil and Texaco antifreeze coolant, there's no better place to take your car than to the Star.
Take it to the Star.
On Labor Day 1994, thousands of runners and walkers were treated to the most spectacularly produced event in road racing history.
Every element was perfectly done.
And on Labor Day 1995, the U.S. 10K Classic promises even more. The race will be a spectacular event with a finish line celebration for the whole family, all to benefit children's charities. Enter your company team and win the new Corporate Chase Division. All runners and walkers receive free admission to Whitewater Park. Be part of Atlanta's newest and grandest celebration, the U.S. 10K Classic.
500 hits the Pocono, and heads are turning as drivers throw caution to the wind in Winston Cup Racing. MGT 500 qualifying, Friday at 3, live on Sports South.
Well, back at Elkhart Lake, we watched the longest walk of the day by Ron Fellows, driver of that number 2 Camaro. Very, very frustrating day for Ronnie after a truly great run. The number 3 Camaro, I should say, excuse me. He is perhaps walking down towards Victory Circle to, do you think, give some congratulations?
He's probably going to congratulate Tommy Kendall on a fine event.
Tell him that he'd like to buy him dinner and cold drinks, perhaps.
Yes, he'd like to take him to Siebkins and give him a couple of Jägermeisters.
Well, there is Boris Said, who really was one of the great stories of today, and he, because of his drive, wins the Raybestos Rising Star of the Race Award. I can't talk right, David.
Well, you've had it. And, of course, with that goatee beard, he looks more and more like Boris Said, the Egyptian driver.
Just a great drive. Look at this. Fords occupying the top 5 positions. Tom Kendall over Boris and Brian Simo, teammates on the Tom Gloy team. Rob Rizzo, a great run, and Dorsey Schrader, a great charge back up through the pack to make it back to 5th, gathering those so valuable points. Chevrolet's in 6th and 7th with Tony Ave and Price Cobb. John Gooding hangs on to an 8th place. Tim McAdam, we haven't heard about him all day, nor Bill Saunders, but they finished strong 9th and 10th positions. Really good runs by all those drivers. Today, it seemed that part of the challenge was just to stay out of trouble.
There's Mr. Binks greeting his driver. Probably Tommy Kendall thinks, no, he's taking his helmet off. He's brave. I thought he might leave it on for a few moments.
You never know. Well, he's happy. Let's see if he jumps on top of the car or if he tries to save his ankles.
Oh, he's drinking the Gatorade. Oh, no, that's not Gatorade, is it?
That's the all-sports drink. Let's get down to Chris McClure.
Well, they're about to unstrap his cool suit, so the driver's suit has to be moved off to the side, but Tom Kendall, as that is accomplished, and I know you're pretty warm, get a nice cool drink there, well-deserved. Dare I say, finally.
Woo! It's more than finally. It's been 10 months since my last Trans Am win, and I'll tell you what, it was obvious this thing was a rocket ship, man. The all-sport body quencher Roush Mustang was, I mean, to go to the front and back and then back to the front again. They talked about changing tires on the stop. I said, I think I can do it this way, and so made it hard on myself. You know, I said I wasn't going to be over-aggressive at the start, and, you know, I got next to Price, and he didn't see me and came down on me, and I spun rather than spinning him out, and so that made for a long day. And then at the end there, you know, I came up through the field, didn't have much trouble, and, you know, got up next to Ron, and he, you know, I drafted my bop to the right, he went to the right, so I went to the left, and just my heart went in my throat when he started heading left, and I didn't even have a chance to get to the brake pedal, so I'm glad he's okay. I knew he was shaking his fist at me, so I know he's all right. But, you know, that's just one of those things. You see it, that's where the spotters in Winston Cup really come in handy. When someone's up alongside someone, got a fender on them, they know that. And these cars, it's really hard to see out of the back. So, but, hey, we'll take it, man.
A lot of slam bang up and down the line. You talked about a couple of your incidents, but, you know, as I recall here last year, there was a bit of contact. Great, big, long racetrack, and everybody's nose to tail all the time. And it really is a rough go here, isn't it?
Well, the difference, you know, nobody wants to get past, so everyone's saying, I want the right, no, I want the left, I want the right, and so the guy behind's put in a tough spot, and so until I had a fender on anyone, I wasn't going to stand my ground, you know. And the difference this year is I had a heck of a motor from the Roush guys. Last year I didn't have the speed to get up alongside of one. Here I did, and that was the difference.
Thanks, Tom. Bill?
Well, you can tell he is an excited young man today, and from the high of winning, there is the low of losing. Ron Fellows, after running just maybe a perfect race for most of it, did not get to finish, and he was knocked out. Well, the wounds will heal in time, and we'll be back with more of this action after just these few words.
Baby, we can talk all night, wherever you go, whatever you do.
Hi, if your favorite
favorite kind of music is soft rock, then you should hear this new album called Lost in Love.
It's a new 4-record collection that has 36 of the best soft rock hits performed by the original artists.
You got it all over him. You got me over him. Secret lovers. Who's gonna drive you home?
4 records or 2 cassette tapes are only $19.95.
2 compact discs, just $24.95.
Here's how to order.
To order Lost in Love, call 1-800-533-1400. 1-800-533-1400. For Lost in Love, that's 1-800-533-1400.
It's the Summer Legends Shootout Series on Sports South. Full throttle, fender bending, hardcore racing action. Featuring a shootout between Derek Cope and Jimmy Spencer. Live from Charlotte Motor Speedway Tuesday night at 8 on Sports South. The best plays in the South are on Sports South. One of the best road teams in baseball is ready to rip in San Diego. But Tony Gwynn has his own assault plan. Live next Sunday on Sports South.
Welcome back to Road America. The final few minutes here, we're watching a very disgusted Ron Fellows walk away being consoled by his wife, Linda. This is just, it's such a moment of frustration, David.
It's terribly frustrating, and of course, all these racing incidents, you always think it's the other guy, and I mean, the fact is he did jink right, and then, Tommy Kendall tried to go down the outside, which was a pretty adventuresome type of move, and it just didn't work.
No, it didn't. Well, we have seen the top 5. They are all Ford mounted today. Just a great day for Ford as their comeback against Chevrolet looks pretty strong right now. Dorsey Schrader again, a great charge to get back up into 5th place. He really had a rough day. Tony Ave, maybe his best finish to date in 6th place. Price Cobb 7th again. John Gooding, definitely his best finish. Tim McAdam, Bill Saunders 9th and 10th. Chevrolet mounted both of them from the Gentilozzi stables, the Rocketsports Racing Camaros. Jamie Gallus hangs on to 11th place ahead of Dale Phelan. That's Tony Ave's teammate and team owner. Rick Dittman, Paul Gentilozzi gets 14th, and Phil Bartelt, another Ford-mounted driver, up in 15th, that number 29 car. Gary Stewart, Jim Trotnow, Bruce Barkaloo hangs on for 18th. Had an unspectacular but a proper day. He didn't get in any trouble. Ray Kong, 19th, and Tom Juckett, 20th. Both Camaro mounted. 21st, R.J. Valentine, troubles with the tires. Max Lagat, Bruce Nesbitt, Bill Eagle. We saw the early excursion off the track, and of course, Ron Fellows. What a heartbreak. Maybe 2nd, maybe 3rd, you just never know. Greg Pickett, a lot of troubles with bodywork as Ron Fellows' car gets towed off in the background. Brian Till, other teammate of Greg Pickett, also back in 27th. Kenny Wilden, Don Sack, and Trent Terry is shown in last place. Let's go back down for report. Chris McClure.
Great drive by Boris Said. Here, still on the podium, not quite number 1. I guess your tires gave up toward the end.
Yeah, it was a close race. I mean, I had a great car the whole race. I might have run a little too hard in the beginning, and, I was on a soft left front tire, so I kind of gave up the ghost. But, Tom Gloy gave me a great car, and, Ford Mustang's a great car, 1, 2, 3. Happiest thing is, though, my friend Brian from No Fear is in 3rd place, and that makes me thrilled to death. And I want to thank all the people at No Fear, all my friends, especially Robin. If I don't mention Robin, she'll get mad at me on Monday. But especially my wife, Karen. I mean, I'm pretty happy. 2nd's my best finish, and I'm getting closer, getting back in the points race, so things are starting to go my way.
On the yellow, of course, you're sitting there in front behind the pace car. You got a lot of time to think it over there, don't you? And it's a position in this series not very familiar to you. What goes through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've led, except for Lime Rock briefly, and I was pretty comfortable. I was running a relaxed pace, just cruising, having a great time, and I could feel the tire going away, and it's completely blistered. But other than that, I just made the wrong choice on the left front tire, and live and learn. But I'll take the 2nd, and I'm that much closer, 2 laps closer to a win, so it's coming soon.
You said you didn't want to hit anybody or anything after doing that the last few races. You may be the only guy in the field that didn't hit something or something, because this was a tough one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was running really good at the beginning of the year. In this race, I just kind of took it nice and easy, and played my cards right, didn't hit anything, and I'm happy to be 2nd.
Good job.
Thanks a lot.
Mary Gomez presents.
I agree with you, Chris. I think he did a great job today. Really spectacular. Tom Kendall is very satisfied race driver today. He notches his first win of the 1995 season. The number 11 all-sports car rules for a day.
That's an old country. That's really old. Man, is that old. Only a country this young could create a car this cool. The Chevy Camaro. 2 airbags, fuel injection, and a double wishbone suspension. Hey, you're only young once. The new Camaro. It's genuine Chevrolet.
It's the greatest race in the world, and winning it gives you a feeling you just can't imagine. Just incredible. Unbelievable. And we had exactly what we needed to get to the finish line first, including our Goodyear Eagles, the tires that know how to win at Indy.
Goodyear, #1 at the Indy 500 24 years straight.
In my lifetime, there's only been one tire legend at Indy, and that's Goodyear.
Hey, let's do the limbo rock. Don't move that limbo bar. You'll be a limbo star. How low can you go?
At Chevrolet, we're not just out here winning. We're testing suspensions, developing more powerful engines, and learning more about aerodynamics. Because if you want to bring more race-winning technology to the street than any other car company, sometimes you have to work weekends. That's genuine Chevrolet.
This presentation of the 6th round of the 1995 SCCA Trans Am Championship is being brought to you by Chevrolet. One automotive company has won more races over the last 30 years, genuine Chevrolet. Well, a great day of racing, and here is what happens at the end of it. If you win, you get to spray the champagne, and these guys are having fun.
And they put on a tremendous drive in the all-around.
Tom Kendall dousing everybody right now. And now with one of the other happy people from the Ford Motor Company, let's go back down to Chris McClure.
In the victory circle, perhaps no one happier than Dan Rivard from Ford Motor Company. A sweep of the top 5, as a matter of fact, not just the podium. What a day.
Tremendous day, tremendous race. Really a tremendous thing for us.
Is it the sort of thing you can see coming maybe on the Friday before or something of that nature, or do you hold your breath just like everybody else?
Hold your breath until it's over. You really hold your breath until it's all over. You're never sure until the end.
As a group, Ford Motor Company, all these teams, what does this sort of result, this sort of sweep do for the mentality and the psyche going to the second half of the season?
Well, it's a great second half boost for all of us. It's really a good thing to watch our guys out there, watch them perform, watch them come back, watch Tommy come back from way back in the field. Boris had a great run from flag to flag.
Well, congratulations to you and all of your people that run this operation.
Thank you very much.
Danny Rivard, he's happy.
Well, when your competitor wins, the champagne is sticky. When you win, it feels great. Today, Ford entered this contest trailing Chevrolet, David, and now they have a nice 5-point lead.
Now they got a good lead, and that certainly shows what 1 week can do. But what a sweep by Ford this afternoon, top 5.
It's amazing. Sometimes the stats are a little misleading, as Ford did dominate in the statistics, but the few last lap crashes by a number of the major competitors just really upset the standings. You can see that in the driver's point standings, Tom Kendall has a really commanding lead right now with 181 points over Dorsey Schrader. Ron Fellows falls back to 3rd place, so it's a little bit of a disappointment to him. And he is falling into the grasp of Boris Said, Brian Simo Price Cobb in 5th place in a tie. With one of the happy tiees, let's go back to Chris McClure.
Previous best was 5th. Now he's on the podium. Good drive.
Thank you very much. That was a good time. The Valvoline Ford Mustang. This was a wild race. I'll tell you what. Good time.
What about that drive up toward the checkered flag at the end? That was a heck of a drag.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Rob Rizzo was running up behind us. It was pretty much a Ford field today, and yeah, you had to watch behind you. It was a busy race. It was hard to tell who was where and what was what, but we kept it together, and I guess this is what you get.
Tied for 5th in points, in the hunt there for some good bonus money at the end and some recognition, which you're now starting to get, deservedly so. What does that do for you, the first podium, the boost, like Boris got earlier this year?
Well, now that I'm here, I'd like to stay here. I mean, this is a nice place to be, and once you get a taste of it, I suppose you're going to want to come back for some more.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
He's on the podium, first time in his career.
I'm sure we're going to see him up there many more times. We look at the Chevrolet race summary. Tom Kendall, of course, the winner, led only 2 laps, but they were the important ones. 90.496 miles per hour and a fastest lap at a 208.379. Well, from Road America near Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, this is Bill Adam for David Hobbs and Chris McClure, thanking you for joining us and reminding you to be with us on Sunday, July 23rd at 3:30 Eastern for Trans Am racing from the Medic Grand Prix of Cleveland. Coverage of the Sports Car Club of America's Trans Am Series has been a presentation of First Autosports Television in association with the Prime Network.
Subsequent to the Trans Am race at Road America, the protest against Tom Kendall filed by Ron Fellows' team for unsportsmanlike conduct was upheld by the SCCA. Kendall was penalized the equivalent of a stop and go, which took away the victory and moved him to 3rd place. The win goes to Boris Said and Brian Simo.
Onto your heart.